don't march and protest because we like to march and protest. All we want to do is be free. Shaun King from New York.
Shaun King, good morning.
Hey, good morning, everybody. It was 925 days ago that Colin Kaepernick played his last game in the NFL. He didn't retire. He wasn't banned for performance-enhancing drugs. He didn't violate the NFL's nebulous conduct policy. He wasn't arrested or accused or charged with a crime, none of that. He simply had the nerve to have a silent, peaceful protest of police brutality and systemic injustice before each game. And it certainly appears to have cost him his career. The NFL officially began this past week, and after a lifetime of loving the game, yes, I am continuing on.
Go toward the window, Shaun. You're breaking up. Go toward the window.
Can you hear me better now? I'm sorry.
Yes.
The NFL officially began their season this week after a long time of loving the game, and I'm continuing my own personal boycott. And I feel like I've said this now for at least 3 years here on the show. I don't get a chance to talk about it a whole lot, but I'm a huge sports fan, and I've been a big sports fan my whole life. Basketball, baseball, football, soccer, MMA, wrestling, golf, tennis, the Olympics, strongman competitions, you name it, I've been watching it forever. And from the early 1980s until just about 3 years ago, I watched the NFL religiously. I used to have the NFL Sunday ticket. I'd go to the games. My family and I used to throw huge Super Bowl parties every year. I love the game. I love the competition. I love the strategy of the game. But I must admit that I loved it and watched it religiously for nearly 30 years without truly knowing how conservative and cowardly the owners of the teams were. I watched it religiously for nearly 30 years, certainly without knowing that it was giving the players brain damage. And I watched it religiously for nearly 30 years without having any idea that this league would eventually ban a player and effectively steal his career because he peacefully, silently protested injustice in America. And as much as I'd love to be watching the games this weekend, I just can't do it. I just can't bring myself to support a league or a business that has done what this league has done to Colin Kaepernick. Now, not a single NFL expert believes that Colin was denied a job or was even denied a tryout or has been denied even a single contract offer because he can't play football. Of the nearly 100 quarterbacks in the league last season, only 10 had a winning record in the playoffs. Colin is 4-2 as a starting quarterback in the playoffs. 55 quarterbacks in the NFL right now have never even started a game in the playoffs. Career, Colin Kaepernick has 72 touchdowns and just 30 interceptions, one of the best touchdown to interception ratios in NFL history. He does not have any lingering injuries. He's healthy and strong, still ready to play. In a confidential survey just this offseason of defensive players in the league, 95% of defensive players said it's ridiculous that he's not in the league right now. And many of them flat out named the starting quarterbacks that he should replace. Here's how bad it is. Marco Rubio, yes, the Republican senator from Florida, said yesterday that Colin Kaepernick should be in the NFL and that it's not for football reasons that he's being denied a shot. Both the Jaguars and the Dolphins there in Florida are struggling and could use Kaepernick, but both teams refuse to sign him. It's so bad that Marco Rubio is saying it's a mistake. That's where we are right now. And for me, I'm not leading a boycott. I'm not even asking you to join me. I'm just saying I can't support a league or a product or a company that openly, brazenly, publicly steals a man's career because he took a quiet, peaceful stance against police brutality and injustice. And I don't want to hear that if a team signs him, it's going to hurt the marketability of that team. Colin's jersey was the number one selling jersey in the league. He's popular. He's a hero to millions of people. And the truth is that Colin Kaepernick would make many deeply irrelevant teams who aren't selling any jerseys or merchandise or even tickets for that matter. He put many of those teams right back on the map. But here's what I know. This is what happens in a league where black men are 70% of the players, but white men own every team but one. While black athletes put their bodies and brains on the lines day in and day out, when men, primarily Trump supporters, reap the majority of profits while taking next to no risk. And here's the thing. The older I get, the more I care about where my dollars go. The older I get, the more I care about the social responsibility of the companies and brands that I support. And here's the deal. These companies and brands are going to march forward, even if I don't watch, even if I boycott, even if I pick and choose. But it doesn't mean they have to do it with my dollars or my support. And I get to have the peace of mind of knowing that I'm not funding our own oppression. Many of these corporations, including teams in the NFL, are getting people rich who then go and give that money to campaigns and causes and other corporations that are holding us back. And for me, I just don't want any part of it. So on Sundays, as much as I would like to be checking out the game, I'm not even going to sneak over there and get a peek. During game days, I'm just going to hang out with the family, clean the house, and wish that the NFL would do better.
I'm with you.
Take care,
Shaun.
everybody.
Shaun, there's a couple of things. First of all, I didn't do the story about Marco Rubio because it seemed like a qualified endorsement. He's not really.
It was a bit of a qualified endorsement, but it was the most I've ever heard, not just from him, but from any Republican. Just kind of, he acknowledged, he did say the phrase, it's not for football reasons that he's not in the league.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And the second thing is, have you heard about the Jaguars perhaps signing Colin Kaepernick?
I've heard about it.
Yeah.
You know, like they've passed on him before. I mean,
well, when Nick
they could
Foles
use
went
him.
down, obviously, you know, they need some help too. So the BET.com, I think, was reporting yesterday that the Jaguars could sign Colin.
I looked at that article.
Uh-huh.
That article was mainly sharing tweets from people saying the Jaguars needed to sign him. Like if you click on it, it's not like a scoop. It's just like, yeah, they should sign him, you know?
Yeah, and I get that. But I was just wondering if you had anything regarding that. Cause,
he's ready. Like, he's legitimately, he's in NFL shape. He's studying the game. He's ready for that type of opportunity. I know that much.
Well, I'm with you, doing other stuff on Sunday afternoons.
Yeah, me and you both. Huge fans. I can't watch it.
Nope. I stand with you, taking a knee.
Yep.
All right.